Guys, greetings. Peace. Hello. Hi. Oh. Peace, beloved. Cerebral. Melinda. Unbothered. Peace. Hi from Ireland. That is one of my number one places I want to visit. I've been saying I want to go to Ireland like since I was little. I don't know. I got issues. It's one of my, that and it's a couple of other places. Peace, Miss Toya. Peace, Saint K. Feel like I ain't seen you on here in a little bit. All right. So I wanted to jump on here and talk about the couple of things that we got coming up. So we got this retrograde coming up. Retrograde. I'm gonna look into it. I definitely want to go. There's a retrograde that's coming up, and retrogrades Mercury retrograde tends to get a bad rap. Mercury retrograde tends to get a bad rap. And the reason it gets a bad rap is because so many things starts to go haywire. There's accidents that's normally happening. There's technology issues start happening. Normally when Mercury go into retrograde, I don't even want to do lives no more. So it's like technology stuff started happening. All of these little things that's connected to communication. Communication between your partners, communication between not only your mates, but your siblings. Communication breaks down. Okay. That's what typically Mercury retrograde means. This Mercury retrograde is specifically getting ready to really make you go inward. The beginning of this year to me have been focused on us actually doing the work. Okay. So we did all of this stuff last year and we got all this work done last year. And then this year it has been us being in a space where we're saying we got to actually put in real work to release dynamics that we still want to hold on to. If you are still holding on to some stuff that you know is toxic from last year, I promise you this Mercury retrograde gonna shake the shit out of you. It's definitely gonna shake you. Okay. So you got to be real mindful about how you're operating during this Mercury retrograde. I probably will do some readings. I'm gonna try to Sunday. I have an event tomorrow night, but I'm gonna try to come on and do readings for y'all on Sunday, so we can really get into that. What does that mean for this retrograde? That it's gonna shake the shit out of you. Or Mercury? You say your Mercury is in Pisces. Go see what house it is. So this is the thing that I always tell y'all. When we have a retrograde or we got something happening with the planets, go look at your chart. Not only pay attention to what sign that is sitting in, you also want to pay attention to what house is sitting in. So let's say you might have Mercury sitting in your house of relationships. It's going to make you go inward in anything that's dealing with your intimate relationships, your relationships with people. Okay. It's going to make you really sit down at the table and say, how am I learning? What do I need to reevaluate about myself? What do I need to review about myself within this dynamic? So it's going to trigger you. Okay. It will trigger you. And when it triggers you, the key for Mercury retrogrades or any retrograde that's happening through the year, you want to make sure that you don't let it trigger you to take you out of character. Okay? Don't let it take you out of character. Be in a space where you say, okay, I know what this is. And this is deeper. This is deeper than what it seems to be. Yes, in your natal chart. Okay? So it's deeper. See now, like all 9 has Mercury not only, Mercury is not only is in his Sagittarius, but it's also in the 3rd house. Mercury is directly connected to the 3rd house. Why? Because it is communication. It is communication. Your 3rd house is about how we communicate with others. So depending on if he has any prolific or any interesting planet sitting in that house, then it'll be interesting. You have to work on your reflection within the moment. Me too. We all have that moment where it might trigger us, and sometimes we'll engage a little more than we know we should. It just depends on who that interaction is with you. Gemini in the 9th house, so you know the 9th house is going to be dealing more with your spiritual aspects, your higher education, how you, like your real beliefs when it comes to like religious views, yada, yada, yada. So this might be a time where you start to like really go deeper in your spirituality, Gemini. But the other key for y'all during these retrogrades, try not to pay attention to what people are saying online. I know it's hard because this is definitely the wave of the new age babies. It's definitely the wave of the internet. Okay. The age of knowing. And because of that, it makes it harder for y'all to unplug. Okay, it'll make it harder for you to unplug, but I promise you, unplugging is key. And the reason I say that, because a lot of times there's situations that come on into play with these retrograde, especially Mercury retrograde, because it already get a bad rap, and people are going to make you feel like Mercury retrograde is bad. No retrograde is bad. Might not be your favorite. It might not be the work. Retrogrades really are there for you to do the work. And what it end up happening is, most of the time it'll make you do the work you don't want to do. It'll make y'all do the work that y'all don't want to do. It'll be like, oh, you thought you was going to leave that shoebox in the back of your closet that got that stuff that you ain't want to deal with? Oh, no, we pulled that out, bro. Okay. Oh, thank you. Okay. So you got to, really take a moment. If somebody is saying some negative stuff, like, you really want to unplug from that. Don't listen. As soon as they come on and they be saying something, I can't entertain, because it's going to be implanted in your subconscious now. And now you're going to be thinking and viewing the retrograde that a whole lot of stuff is going wrong. No, everything is going right, because it's making you do the work. Retrogrades are for you to go inward. That's all you got to remember. Retrogrades are the moments that I need to go inward. If you have pulled your natal chart, that's the opportunity for you to look at your natal chart. Say, okay, I got Mercury in my 1st house. That's going to make me review everything it is about me, how I see myself, and how I present myself to the world, how I think other people view me. Okay? So just pay attention. Pay attention. Queen, peace, beloved. You made a post the other day. I said, oh, if that wasn't a word, I swear it was a word. I said, I need to repost that. I'm going to have to repost that on one of my relationship days when I'll be talking about relationships. That was a word, child. That was a great word. I was a person that changed your own perspective. Yay! That's what I came to do. Go to Astro, or you could do astrology.com or astro.com. Any of those where you could just really get you a great chart that you can understand. Some people, y'all like the ones where they be real wordy and they try to break all that stuff. I don't like them. I'm a picture person. I'm visual. I need to see the pie chart. I need to see it on the pie. I want to see it on the circle. I need to see where the plan is at. I break it down visually. And I can see stuff different. Wow, that's all. I connect the dots differently. That's my gift. The more and more I understand not only my chart, but my human design, that my gift or what I came into the world was to be able to see things where people wouldn't connect those dots the same way. So I can give y'all a different perspective, and everybody not going to agree with my perspective. But, you know, it ain't for everybody to agree. I don't do this for everybody. There's a select few that I'm going to do this for. And people will get it and be able to elevate. Can I help you? Your time is going really, really bad. What should you do? Change your perspective. Stop looking at it as it's going bad. What is happening that's making you feel like you're going bad? I'm over here tearing up this box. What is it? What's going on that's making you feel like you're going bad? Oh, your Mercury in your third house too. So be mindful of your communication, Skull. Okay, be mindful of your communication with people. I did all 9. I came to raise the... I don't know why I chose that mission. Y'all know I always be like, I ain't coming back. I'm probably that one that I still see some people and be like, oh, I gotta go back. I gotta go help them. No. I had a lot of learning lessons this year too. I mean, well, not this, well, yeah, this year too. But in this journey of mine, when I decided to come back to be a helpmate, that's what I call it. I decided to come back and be a helpmate, and it definitely taught me a lot this time around. Yeah, not to be so, but if you're a blunt person, absolutely watch your mouth. Skull, this is a time you really want to be quiet. Do a lot of listening instead of responding. Pay attention to why are you being triggered, but also why are the people that you're getting into these conversations being triggered as well. Also, technology. Pay attention to what's going on with your technology, baby. You're broke from a job, family issues, and financials. Financials and broke is about the same thing, baby. So this is what I'm going to say to you back. This is Rohit. I hope that's you. You definitely want to stop using the word broke. Okay? So there's a blockage in your cash flow. There's a blockage. Be mindful of how you're speaking things into life. You don't want to ever use the word, and this is for everybody, you don't want to ever use the word that I'm broke or I'm poor. You don't want to speak death into your life. You want to make sure you're always speaking life. Like, there's something that's temporarily blocking my money to come to me. So I'm going to need the universe to go ahead and release that. You want to be very mindful of, like, what words am I using? Because that's the words you start believing in your actual consciousness. And I know a lot of people sometimes will be like, it's easier said than done. No, just say it. Because the more you walk in the energy of real positivity, real consciousness, a lot of that stuff that y'all are allowing to trigger you and put you into a pattern, put you into a cycle, because you're speaking death into your life when you say certain words. Anytime that you create a pattern, it's normally coming from the way you're thinking, what you're speaking. So you want to be in a space that you're saying, let me step back. Let me look at what I'm actually speaking into my life. You're not broke. Your money just it's on hold. The ancestors is holding your money. You need to go to the altar and ask them to release that, please. And then this is a time to plan. Maybe this is a time that you need to shift what's going on in your environment. As far as family is family. Stop taking it so personal. Quit being so attached to the emotional aspect of what's going on. The outcome. Or the need to prove anything or validate anything. If they tripping, they tripping. Let them trip by themselves. They going through something. Let them go through that by themselves. I'm quick to tell somebody, like, that's a personal problem. You're not coming at me with no type of crazy energy and I don't tell you, like, nah, that's personal. You want to bring me into this, but that's personal. Okay? That's something that you need to go back and say, why is this triggering me where I need to have this type of response? Why is this triggering me where I need to respond this way? And they go both ways. Not only why is it triggering you, but why is it they need to be in a space? And some people are not in that space. So as the conscious individual, you have to choose. So speak life. Speak life to yourself. Know that you are walking in abundance. That's an affirmation that you should use every day. I walk in abundance. I am abundance in all aspects of my life. I am abundance. I'm abundantly blessed in all aspects of my life. Whatever you want to word it, however you want to word it, make sure that you word it and you say it and you believe it. Say it, fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it. Fake it until it actually sets in your consciousness. Because typically when we're in a negative mind state, it takes a good little bit. Okay, it takes a good little bit. Yay, Mystic. Mystic Queen was our winner. Y'all better be doing them. See, we ain't even going to be doing homework assignments. Now it's all for the class. That's what I got on here for. Let me see what time it is. I'm over here running my mouth and still ain't talking about the class. All right. So for my ones that had bought the journal when it was on pre-order, so y'all bought it probably back in November, December, you'll receive a link probably tomorrow. I'm not going to lie, y'all, because I'm human to a degree. So if you don't get it tomorrow, you will definitely get it on Sunday. Okay. You'll definitely get it on Sunday if you don't get one tomorrow. I know I overbooked myself with what was going on this weekend. But the ones who bought the book when it was on pre-order, you'll get a link to the actual class for you to enroll, so you don't have to pay. And then all my other people who have already enrolled, you should receive a link within the next 2 days as well, so you can start doing each section. So the class starts this weekend. It's already pre-recorded. It's online. You can do it at your own pace. Okay. I'm probably going to keep it locked where one section per week will be what we would cover, because I really want to make sure that y'all really dig into this content and understand who you are from a very intimate and interpersonal level. Okay. Well, take it, Outlaw. Go ahead and do the class. I give y'all a lot for a little. I always give y'all a lot for a little. My mentor was fussing at me because he was like, you doing the class for how much? But I want to make sure that y'all can get this. I really, really want to make sure that y'all get the information and y'all get the content. You apply it to your lives. That's what my number one goal is this year. I keep saying that, is that I want to make sure that the information that I'm providing this year is stuff that you can really apply to your life. Application is key. Application is like the number one key with all of this journey, this walk, wherever you are at. Okay. Where and how. All you have to do is go on my website. Where y'all been? Go on the website. There's a link. It says Journey to Self. There is a link. It says Journey to Self. Yes, it's pre-recorded. So it says Journey to Self. Y'all got a lot more video content this time than I had on the last class. So it's a Journey to Self class. It's online. It is pre-recorded, so there's no excuse. You can finish it at your own pace, preferably within a month, because it's only like, y'all shouldn't be taking forever, but preferably in a month. But it's a class that breaks down. I was looking for the workbook, sorry. It breaks down this workbook that I created. It goes through each step of what I've been giving out as homework. Steps on forgiveness, steps on grief, steps on discipline, steps on our higher self, understanding spiritual signs. And this is just one of many. There is going to be a series. So please, 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 if you really are going to be interested in helping yourself get better, go ahead and start with this one first. Even if you just get the workbook or you enroll in the class, go ahead and start with that one first. And the reason I'm saying that, because this is a 4-part series. So I don't want y'all to wait until we get 3 parts in. Okay. And now you starting at part 1 when I done gave y'all the opportunity to get in now. This is going to make you really, really start with the root, because I tell a lot of people that when you are in this journey of awakening or spiritual, you need to know who you are first. A lot of y'all think y'all know who you are and you don't. A lot of y'all walking around, and I was there too. Yes, I am. Nika, and then if you want to order the book internationally, inbox me, because if I know I can send it to you, but I believe the publishing company will send it to you too. And it might be better for you to go through them. Okay. I was there where I started this journey when I was young. I'm about to be 44 this year. So I started this journey when I was super, super young. I was a teenager. And I started it where I was supposed to start. I'm not going to say I started it ass backward, but I started it where I was supposed to start it. And they, had us studying about astrology and where the sun was positioned and, dealing with our heritage and our culture. Not to knock that, but when shit got real, when it was time for me to deal with stuff like rape, when it was time for me to deal with stuff like molestation, when it was time for me to deal with stuff like having children by these deadbeat ass daddies, when I had to deal with the real stuff, no one in that particular part of the journey was really showing us how to work with the stuff that we needed to uncover for us to be better people, period. I could damn quote you some shit. I could regurgitate plenty of books. I was dealing, the first organization I dealt with was the Nation of Gods and Earths, if anybody familiar with that, or the 5%ers. I can quote you a whole lot of stuff. I can give you 124 with it backwards. I can tell you what a black man is God, that type of stuff. And it wasn't putting me in a space that I was becoming a better person before the stuff really got real. It didn't put me in the space where, because I know what the distance from the sun and the earth, that didn't help me. When it got real, that didn't help me. When my stuff was coming up and I was having to deal with my truth and I was having to deal with my real stuff, that stuff wasn't helping me. It was like, okay, you real smart. You can actually hold an intellectual. I could verbally combat you. Verbal acrobatics. That's what I used to call them. I could get into that with you. Exactly. NOI. None of that stuff was really helping you get to the root of the problem. It just helped you seem like you were smart in the room. And my whole thing now is that it's more than just being the smartest person in the room. It's more than, being the one that can stand on your square. It's more than being able to give this witty response to somebody on social media that you don't even know and you might not even meet. It's more than me randomly meeting somebody out in public and me being able to shut their whole life down off of something that I know. Do I know myself? Do I know myself? Do I know why I have a Chiron in the house of relationships, which make all my relationships crazy as hell? Have I learned how to master that? Do I know why my Pluto is sitting in the first house? Do I know why that is creating me to be the person that I am? Do I know why I even feel guilty most of my life? I walked around my whole life to a certain age before I started dealing with it, feeling guilty about something that happened to me when I was a little girl. But did I even deal with that? Did I start to deal with that? No. And then I was one of them hurt people walking around hurting people. Hey, your whole son, yeah, some of y'all sons will be lost. Some of y'all sons' feelings was gonna be hurt. That was her. So you had to, there was a tower moment that happened in my life when to the outside world, my life looked like it was perfect. To the outside world, I was at the top of my career. I had a store. You know, it looked like my children, they doing good. Visually, everybody was like, she, you know, hats off, she getting it. Handling it. And my shit was damn crumbling down on the inside. Because they decided I need to go back and look and see if there was a retrograde or something going on then. There was a tower moment that happened. And said, oh no, you not going to keep doing the same cycle over and over. Obviously, you're not learning the lesson. So we get ready to tower your shit down. Literally. And I was like, oh, we dealing with this now? When everything started happening, it was like, oh, we going to do this today. Not we doing it today. Okay. But it was the best thing that happened in my whole life. It's the reason I'm here now. It's the best thing that happened in my whole life when I had to actually deal with my stuff. And then when I started dealing with it, I was like, the crazy part is I had at the time I was with my ex-fiance. Well, we were kind of in between. And he was trying to send me books. He was trying to save me. But I was still stuck in my attitude like, ain't shit you can tell me. I had that whole attitude. You can't tell me nothing that I don't already know. I don't want to read that damn book. I think the book at the time that he was trying to push on me was Allies in Healing. Allies in Healing was the, and if you have not read that, if you dealt with any type of sexual trauma, that is the best book for you to look at. It's the best book for you to read. One of the best books. Okay. That's when I started understanding all of that stuff that they was teaching me over the years was some BS. Okay. Not knocking anybody's way of life. I'm just telling you that it didn't help me become a better person. It didn't help me become the person that I've evolved into. It didn't help me really get to the root of my issues and my pain. It just helped me look real smart while I was dealing with my issues. How do we learn about these planets and retrogrades, etc.? There are so many books and sources. The first thing that I would suggest that you do is definitely pull your natal chart. Pull your natal chart so you can really just see where, because the most important part is for you to learn their purpose that they play in your intimate life. So pull your natal chart. I know astrology.com, they actually have an astrology 101 on their website. So they'll break down each planet. What does it mean? They'll break down each house. What does that house mean? And they actually break down the signs too. So they break down your sign, they break down the houses, and they break down the planets. It's very easy to read, so it's not a complicated read where they talking over your head and you're not understanding by the end of the day. That's the best thing for you to do. What am I reading right now? Ooh, I'm stuck. I've been rereading the same book for like a month. I'm not gonna lie. And this is an old book for me, but there's something I think I'm trying to grasp from it. So it's The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Okay, Eckhart Tolle, That Power of Now. And there's another book that that's called The Invitation by Mooji. Spiritually, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I'm in such a different space than even this time last year. I'm in such a different space than I was even this time last year. I think the more you evolve, the more you realize that all of it is BS. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but the more you evolve, the more you realize that it's all BS. Allies in Healing is the name of the book. Shanta. Just Shanta. I'm going to see if I can find a cover and I can screenshot it and put it on the thing. I'm going to make a book list because I always get asked about what is great, what are great books. And I always feel like it depends on where you're coming from. If you want to learn more about the science and like astrology and things of that nature, then I mean, books like this. I talk about this book all the time. It's one of my favorites. Magical Astrology. Different astrology books that, you know, will help you understand how to use the planets, how to use the energies to help you in your manifestations and stuff like that. I think that's really important. If you want to learn more about the human design chart, I know, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's Jovian.com or JovianArchive.com. They give you your human design, but they also have a free downloadable book. They have a free downloadable book on there to help you understand your human design. So people like always talk about the natal chart, but you don't hear a lot of people talking about your human design chart. It has definitely shifted. It was one of my shifts when I really started to understand it, and I pulled mine a while ago, but I didn't start really digging into it until probably over the last couple of years. And when the last couple of years, it's one of the reasons that once again I'm here. It's one of the reasons why I agreed to teaching, because it's my divine purpose. It's part of my divine purpose. It's part of my walk. It solidified things along with all the other confirmation. The universe had to beat me into submission. I ain't gonna lie. I was the hard-headed, I don't want to go, the kid that was kicking and screaming. No, that was me. I was the one that you be looking like. Y'all was going to daycare and looking at that other child like, why she doing all that? It's not that's it. That was me. That was me. That was I. Everything happening here is just exactly all we need to concentrate on is how to get our vibrations high. Absolutely. See, Rohit, you had me concerned and worried because you over there talking about your life was falling apart and you broke. And now you gonna hit me with this intellect. But see, then you could be one of them people that be talking about. See, we can regurgitate, but we don't believe it. We can say all the good stuff, but do you believe it? So now it's like, do you believe that? Do you believe that it's about getting your vibrations high so you can evolve to a higher dimension? Okay? You got to believe it. If you believe it, I believe that starseeds and old souls, I believe in that whole concept. If you look at your children and their evolution, like my kids, this one that I'm about to birth in the world, I'm not going to lie, he make me nervous. He already been communicating with me, so he made me nervous. But my kids, all of them, especially the boys, have a certain insight that's amazing to me for them to be as young as they are. I don't know if it's just because they've been around it their whole life or what, but whew, something crazy. Yeah, stay positive, Rohit. I want you to stay so focused on your growth and your evolution that you ain't got time to allow the negative things to affect you. Mr. Queen, you hit it right on the nail. Right on the head. Love is the highest vibration. Self-love first. Then you attract more. Absolute. You hit it right. I couldn't have said it better. You hit it right on the head. Love is definitely the highest vibration, the highest expression of godlike energy. And whatever you feel that is for you. But that starts with self-love. And that's what the second book is the second journey to self kind of focuses more on self-love. I also have a co-series spiritualist, I guess is what we're going to call her, a co-spiritualist. I have two co-spiritualists that are working on different sets of these series, okay? So you got the one that's working on relationships. I have somebody that's working on relationships. And then there's somebody that's working on spiritual stuff, tools, and how we use this stuff. Because like I said, the root of it is I need to know myself first. Now that I know myself, and for me, we'll deal with my chart. I'm a Leo with a Pisces moon and a Libra rising. So I understand how to utilize the different things that's going on in my chart to help me manifest quicker, to help me actually walk more in my purpose. So because I know that, it's like, okay, I know how to use my moon. I know how to use my Libra energy. I know how to pull that Leo out when I need to pull it out. Okay. I know how to work with the strengths that's in my chart. Like my Jupiter sitting in a certain place, and I've been running from that part of myself a little bit, but it's like it's a super healer basically. It's that healer that could walk through the room and touch you and make you, you know, your whole life better. So there is a evolution that you can experience through knowing who you are, by knowing just basic information. Okay? Knowing basic information. For years, I didn't understand why I didn't do my readings, or I didn't respond to people the same way that other people, some of my friends was responding to people. And it was because once I started getting in my human design and realized that I was a projector, that I embody people. So that's why I can do a reading over live. Because if I zone in on who you are, I can embody your energy. I feel where your pain is. I be knowing a lot more than what I be saying on these lives, unfortunately. So you have to really start to get into what made you you. You are very unique. You're the only you that's out here. You are the only you that came with a specific purpose. Why? Why did you come? What are you here for? I know I came here besides, you know, leaving my my generous donation to these kids to the universe to help y'all. I'm like, I have so many other things. I was just telling my mate this the other day. I was like, it's crazy because I have children outside of the children that I've birthed. I have children outside of the children that I've birthed. I love when I posted a picture, I don't know if I did it on here or on my personal page, of me at my son's daycare. There's certain kids that naturally just gravitate to me. There's one little boy, what was the baby name? Robert. He made sure that he told me he was asking me what my name was, but he was really like in my face almost. He was wanting to hug, like I ended up hugging him because I was like, he was already in my space before I could even open my mouth. I love children like that. And those are the people I think that tend to gravitate to me as adults as well. There's something that they feel I'm supposed to give them. So figure out what is your thing? What's your uniqueness? What is that thing about you that helps you get back to why you came here in the first place? Because you came here for a reason. Let's be clear. Whether it was to master relationships, to master how to love yourself, to master the third dimension and how to make this dimension work for you, to master the power of money. There's so many different dynamics that you could have came here to learn specifically for this time frame and to add on. What is it? What is your contribution? You might have just came so you can help push somebody else that's supposed to change the world. But what was your contribution? The first house is where the sun. No, that's your ascendant. So your sun will actually show a sun sitting in that house. Your first house is the rising sign, your ascendant sign. So wherever your Mercury, look for the symbol of Mercury. That's what you should look for. 29th of April. What's with my sign and quick thoughts? Oh, you need a consult. You need to come out here when it's a consult. It's time for a consult. You asking too many questions. You need a consult. You need to go on the website, book you a consult. Rohit. April 29th. It's close to my mommy's birthday. I know that. Taurus babies, y'all are very special individuals. I will say that. Y'all are very special. Close that door. That's my little Leo twin trying to come and see what I'm doing. Yes. The 10th house is like career. It's one, I don't like to say it's the house of career, but it's kind of like your career. So it's kind of like where you'll start to see how your network circle, let's say that, your network circle. How is it going to benefit you? You'll see a lot dealing with your career and what you're supposed to be doing in your 10th house. But you also have to put that in combination with like your 6th house, your 11th house sometimes, depending on if you're a person of service. There's a lot of other things that kind of play a part. But the 10th house is definitely more about your career. How you work with other people. Your network circle. Chiron. Ooh, Chiron is your life lesson. Chiron is going to tell you like, baby girl, you're going to have this like every time. This is your lesson every time. So like, I always pick on, my mate has a Chiron in the 1st house. I have a Chiron in the 7th house. His Chiron being in the 1st house, he'll be more concerned about, or he'll have a lot of things that go back to his image of how he view himself, but also how he think other people view him. He'll have the issue, or people normally with the Chiron in the 1st house normally have issues where they are looking at, they think people watching them or paying them some attention, and ain't nobody paying them no damn attention. They feel like people are kind of coming against them, and it don't be nothing against them. Okay, it be a perception that they receive. So they'll have a lot of time. I always tell people with Chiron in the 1st house have a hard time battling ego. Their ego and their persona, like their sense of letting go of the person becomes a bigger challenge for them. Where me, I have Chiron in the house of relationship. Y'all know I talk about it all the time. I can't stand my Chiron. I know it's a beautiful life lesson that they have intentionally wanted me to learn with this Chiron. But my Chiron is in the house of relationship. So what I have learned with dealing with my Chiron has been, I always tend to date downward. Does that make sense? I remember one of my best friends, she had made a comment. She said, you always dating peasants and you never dating a king. That shit real. This is when I was younger. That shit real. I always felt the need to date. It's not that I didn't have the option. I could literally have a doctor trying to talk to me, somebody that's a doctor. And I would have somebody who's like a college student, broke college student. We're just using that term. I would go with the broke college student. Okay? I would always tend to date downward instead of dating someone who was on my level or higher. I would never go or gravitate. I wouldn't have the chemistry in my mind with that person who was in a certain position. I would always pick the guy who needed me more. And that's what I started to understand. I always pick men or relationships, even female relationships, where that person needed me. I have felt the sense that they needed me. They needed to be nurtured. So That's been a kick in my ass my whole life. Because then what you find out is typically those people tend to look at you a certain way. They tend to look at you like, you think you're better than me. And it comes out. You think this. And it is not about that. You're naturally operating in your queendom. You're naturally operating in your kingdom if you're a man with that. Naturally operating in your power. So someone who naturally operates in their power would never feel like they were less than you. Or that they have to rise themselves up to your level. Leo Chiron, in the 11th house. So that's your house of humanitarian, your service to people. So you got to figure out what is it with that you're supposed to learn. Your Chiron is going to make you learn your whole life, and you're always going to be mastering another level and another part of that. Okay? So it's there to stay. It's there to stay, boo. But when you master stuff, you become the master teacher as well. Even though that is your challenged area in your life, that also becomes your master teacher. You're the one. Y'all could come to me on relationship, and I could counsel y'all on relationships and how y'all keep these beautiful relationships together. Because that makes what I have the Chiron where I'm the master teacher when it comes to relationships. But I had to learn through my own personal experience in order for me to become the master teacher at that. But like, don't nobody want that Chiron. I used to always joke, like, I don't want that Chiron. And then it's in Taurus. So that Chiron in Taurus be making your money be crazy. The Chiron in Taurus, my Chiron in Taurus would be like, 1 minute you got $10,000. Like I always joke about this with Uranus sitting in certain spaces too. 1 minute you got $10,000 that just came out of the blue. You got a check in the mail, it's $10,000. The next minute your car break down. Okay, that's what it humbles you. That's what I've learned to love my Chiron. It humbles me. It makes me very humble. It makes me I'm very appreciative of anything that's happening in my life. That's why I could go live in the woods and it don't make no difference for me. I've never been a person that was caught up in certain aspects. And when I am caught up in those aspects, they don't tend to be the best thing for my person, who I am in the heart. Chiron is in Aries, but in the 4th house. And that's with your mama. Your 4th house is your mama. And Aries, that's some interesting energy. I'm not a fan of Aries like that. Thank you, IMJ. I need to come on your page. Every time you come on my page, I'll be wanting to come on your page so I can see if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You can see if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. She says she has a sun sign in Cancer, Pisces ascendant, and a Chiron in the 1st house. Yes. So that Chiron in the 1st house, like I said, it will make you, especially because you are Pisces ascendant, it will give you false illusions of who you are. Or false illusions of who you think people think you are. You got to pay really close attention to how you are perceiving yourself from the person. So when I say the person, this is the physical self, the ego. Hey, Pooh. I can't wait to see you next week. You might have to pull it from a different place, Nika. You might have to pull your Chiron on Astro. Go to astro.com. You just now starting, Jay. Me and you gonna fight. Wait till I have this baby. We're about to fight. So, if you have pulled your chart on astrology.com, you don't want to pull it from there. You're not going to be, you can pull it from there. It's easier to read, but you're not going to see your Chiron. So you want to see your Chiron. If y'all want to see your Chiron, you want to see it on, it's astro.com or some of the other sites. My daughter got home earlier today, so she got the kids wound up. They on 20 right now. They love their sissy. I'm trying to go back and catch some of these questions, y'all. I'm sorry, forgive me. Ibrahim, you said your father told you the same thing. Child, with my girl, and she used to have the worst relationships, but she was telling the truth. She was telling the truth. When she told me that, my feelings was a little hurt. I was a little hurt. I felt like she was stepping on my toes just a little bit. But when I look back over my relationships, like I said, not just intimate relationships, but my personal relationships, like with friends and girlfriends, I was always putting myself where I was the helper a lot. I was the one that was more financially stable. I've always had my own home. I was always the one that was in a certain position. And I always ended up being in relationships where that man wasn't able to adequately provide for me. He wasn't able to provide. And I will always be the head of household, money-wise. I always made the most money out of the two. And when you look at relationships from a certain perspective, that can be really dangerous. I have a different perspective on relationships right now. So we might do a live on that. My perspective is a little bit different because I had to start shifting my perspective on relationships because of the relationships I kept constantly getting into. Consistently. Listen, Linda. All right, every time, never fails. I would always pick. You have two options. This person have everything on your list, and this person ain't got but like half the list, or you know, it might be some of the list, but the major things that you need that you said you wanted on the list ain't there. Child, I always go with this one. It always be door number 2. So I had to start shifting. I was like, well, let me identify why I'm choosing these relationships. Outside of, a big thing for me has been chemistry. I cannot date somebody that I don't have a connection to. That shit hard as hell. And I remember one guy, I kept dating him. This was a while ago. I was dating him and I was like, I kept going out to eat with him thinking it was going to change. It didn't never change. He was still the same guy. And he was like, he looked good on paper. That's what I always say. He looked good on paper, but I couldn't make that connection. I could not. Queen. You know what, Queen, though, what I've read recently, what you have in that Chiron in the second house, and that being that energy that it possesses, it's not really about penny pinching. It's changing our perspective on how we look at money. So that makes sense. So not being so holding on to the money either, because in order for more money to come to you, you got to let it go. I'm going to see if I can find an article that I read recently and see if I can send it to you. One therapist, he said, been there, done that. That's why now, like, I literally, and people who, you know me and my mate, like, they know our dynamic. But literally, even with him, I've been consistent at saying, like, I ain't in no rush. I came here to help take care of my mama. I came here to be in a certain dynamic with my family compared to where I was before. Is this space that has been created, the universe created for me, has given me the freedom to go back to school, to be passionate about doing the things that I really love doing, like teaching these classes or doing these lives. I'm to be of service. the way that I'm supposed to be. So I'm not in a rush. Like, there might be things that you got to work on or things that I got to work on. I'm not in no rush. I ain't having no more kids. That's it. I'm about to say I might have some more, but no, I'm not having no more kids. But I'm not in a rush. I'm not stressing about shit at all. The average person probably couldn't do this. I ain't gonna lie. But I'm not stressed about nothing. Nothing. I'm very happy and proud of my evolution and where I see myself going. So I might be 40 something, but I'm not being pressured by society. I already did the marriage thing. I'd have been proposed to 6 times. Let's be clear. So it ain't about, falling in that trap of feeling like I gotta be married. No, I ain't gotta be married. Now, some of that might have been at one point commitment issues. I ain't gonna lie. Some of that might have been like, nah, I ain't doing that shit. But it's more so now I know my purpose. I know my journey. I'm not going to compromise that purpose or journey. I'm not going to allow anyone to interfere with the mastery of myself. Okay? The mastery of myself. I'm not. And if we're not in alignment, I'm okay with that. He'll tell you anytime. He always say, I got one foot in, I got a heel and a sneaker on. I got one foot in and one foot out. I be straddling like a mug. Like, I don't know, bro. Skull, what you saying? Wow. I'm just saying, I'm very honest about who I am from the gate. I'm very honest. I have always, especially at this part of my life, I've always stated, like, this is what I want. If you're able to provide that, if you're able to fit into that dynamic, then shit, we good, we Gucci. If you ain't able to fit into that dynamic, I can't do it. It don't make sense. I've done that plenty of times. It don't make me give up on love, because I counsel a lot of people that give up on love. They be like, I ain't doing no relationship. I don't want no relationship. I'm done with the proposed to 6 times. I figured. I'm marriage material now. I'm wifey all day. I'm wifey all day. Nah, I'm wifey all day. I'm wifey all day. I fit a certain dynamic. They be swearing, especially now because people be on that Badu shit. They be swearing I be Baduing niggas, but but I don't. That ain't me. Don't believe them lies. That's not what I do. I just be myself. I'm always for the upliftment of whoever I'm with. I'm always for that. I always want to see you do your best. I always want to see the best part of you come out. I'm just now in a space where I'm like, man, listen. They stay trying to. One did. He did. I was married one time, and I got engaged with one. But I think there's a point that you have to be real. When I was married, I still hadn't went through my real awakening when I had that tower moment. The tower moment didn't hit yet. When I was with my ex-fiance, that's when the tower moment hit. So that's why I didn't marry him. And me and him are best of friends. Literally. Like, he called me to give him advice on relationships and everything. So we Gucci. We are good. You have to be honest with who you are and what your journey is. What is it that you seek in a partner? Do you have expectations for that partner? Are you attached to the outcome? I think that's where I'm at now. I'm not attached to no outcome. Whatever happens, whatever the universe is feeling like they are showing me, then I'm okay with that. I'm accepting of that. Okay. I want to touch on one more topic. It's about to cut me off, so I'm going to come back live so I can touch on this topic, and then I'm going to be off. All right. Bye.